Earlier this morning, I received a text message from a dear friend of mine, and I happened to jot it down on my agenda today, and I thought, I wonder if there would be an appropriate place to fit this in. And after reading and watching what just happened up here in front of our stage, I think it's very appropriate. This is what the text message said. When moments and people inspire us, then it should raise our level of commitment to live on purpose. What a better way to represent our purpose in the Henderson County Schools by watching our kids succeed. Next, I'd like to introduce our National History Day Coordinator from South Middle School, Mr. Merrill Punky.
I know a lot of you don't know what National History Day is, so I was going to go into a little bit of background on it. National History Day was actually started in 1980 in Ohio, and has since grown to not just a national competition, including students from all 50 states, but also an international competition. There are students who participate from the international schools in Shanghai, international schools in Korea, as well as Singapore and the Department of Defense schools Europe. Every year about this time, as students start coming back to school, approximately 500,000 students will begin the process of competing in National History Day. It involves extensive research, going and traveling to universities and libraries and museums to find primary sources, to interview experts and interview people who have first-hand accounts of events that have happened in the past. Each student will choose their own topic which they will do their research. It fits within a theme that tends to be very broad in order to give us the best possible interpretation of what students really enjoy about history. The students can then choose to participate in a variety of different ways. They can produce exhibits like we're on display out in the lobby this morning. They can do websites, they can do short documentaries, and they can also do performances. This year, I had the great pleasure of working with 34 of the best students from Henderson County that we have to offer, including students from Chandler Elementary School, South Middle School, and the high school. Of those 34 students, we had 13 of them not just win at our local competitions, not just win at our district competitions, but qualified to represent us at the national level in Washington, D.C. These students traveled to College Park, Maryland, where they competed on the University of Maryland campus. They also met with the majority of our Kentucky congressional delegation and represented Henderson County in a way that is just absolutely so impressive and unimaginable. They are some of the brightest students you will ever meet. It is my great pleasure to introduce at this time Carolyn Mauser and Justin Watson, who are two former South students who will be moving on to the high school this year. And they are doing a performance entitled Voices of the Holocaust that they have entirely written and choreographed themselves, and was their state-winning competition for performance in National History Day.
The year is 1929. I am 6. I'm 8. The happiness and laughter of family surrounds me. The heat of the fire on the hearth warms our bodies as the love warms our souls. Homemade cooking dances on our taste buds. At home, as I gently brush her hair back, as the sprinkler ball approaching, the soft blue eyes stare up at me. Crash, the ball bounces from the bracket. I brush my hand against her cheeks. Another day gone. Another day gone. The year is 1933. I am 10. I'm 12. He sits across from me, 3 seats from the Führer's portrait. The National Socialist German workers teach class today. The Nazis barge in the classroom door. Jews are dirty, they say. They have big noses in the shape of a 6. They're responsible for the death of Christ. All because of my religion. I'm looked at differently, talked to differently, treated differently. She looks different. They say she's different. She must be different. A broad boy calling all Jews young businesses is proclaimed. My dad loses patience. Those written for Jews and anti-Nazis are burned. Flames engulf the pages of my books. All Jews have done their jobs survive. Money is low. I can count my ribs. My cheeks are hollow. It seems like nobody notices. I'm called Schmutziger Judah, dirty Jew. I walk down the street. They glare. They snicker. I crash to the ground. The year is late 1935. I am 12.
I'm 14.
It has to be love at first sight.
It has to be the most rigorous day ever.
Abel winked at me today.
Wolfgang pushes harder today.
I give him my best smile.
I gave him my best as I push up the hill.
My stomach filled with butterflies.
My stomach empties bottle taste.
It has to be love at first sight.
It has to be the most rigorous day ever.
Later, Abel bumps into me in the hall.
Wolfgang bumped me to the ground.
He asked me out to the movies.
He asked me why I wasn't trying.
I can't help but stare into his curly blonde hair and blue eyes.
I can't help but stare at his reaching brown eyes.
I don't know how to answer. I just smile. At the movies,
At HJ's afternoon session,
we share candy and my favorite drink.
Emery shares his snack on me and I shove into my pocket before we get started.
The lights go dark and Abel reaches for my hand.
Air represents the care of attention upon our moment.
Nothing matters more than this moment with him.
Nothing matters more to German than the fatherland.
I wish this feeling could last forever.
I wish the perfection of the fatherland was complete.
Abel escorts me out of the theater and we squeeze through the movie doors, bumping shoulders with an older couple. I smile at them, noticing his blonde hair and blue eyes. The woman nods and says, "Shalom," as they pass. "Do you think we'll look like them in 20 years?" Abel asks. I can feel my cheeks flush.
I can feel the excitement build every time I see a film play, every time I see a portrait appear, every time I see a SS soldier without uniform philosophers. I can feel my heart not to be there the third right streets as they parade from the island. Germany wants to come in, heart and I become a part of it.
We walk slowly hand in hand behind them. As we pass an alley, my heart stops. The familiar voice of the woman screams. Gestapo officers pounce on them, arresting the man, beating the woman like she's a dirty rug, making him watch like it's entertainment. Abel pulls me aside into the shadows as we watch. "You Mongols and Rashi sanders, you should be ashamed. You're breaking the Nuremberg laws," the officer spit. Abel flinches and drops my hand, looking repulsed. He says he has to go.
The inferior races resolve interrupts the area mass movements.
The year is 1938. I am 15.
I am 17.
It all happened so
I've
fast.
never been to the before. They call it prison life.
The night of broken glasses, Hitler's way of testing his power, average citizens joined up with Hitler's men to help destroy all of these properties. I get in a corner,
Walking the streets,
I bury my face into my knees.
I bury my fist into an innocent man.
Tears slip from my eyes,
Drops from my hands heading for the window.
fire burns inside of me,
Fire burns inside the synagogue.
fueling the anger. I close my eyes and try to escape. Glass flies everywhere, making time slow. My father runs to me, but a gloved hand reaches him first. With his other arm, my dad is gone.
He captured all the men to take to concentration camps.
To be herded like animals in a pen.
They didn't know what was coming for them, but we knew. I know.
What was going to happen to my father? What were they going to do to him?
The
Year is 1942. I am 19.
I'm 21.
I am no longer Leah Berman.
I'm Stuart Butler. This time, I'm one transport. Wolfgang is gone and more than 15,000 on my nose. A yell, a scream, a ring. They threw me inside of Wolfgang. I shoved the boy to the ground hard. How dare he talk back? I spit in his face and make no more reply. Those Jews, they're but a disease of the pure arrogance, the pure fault of the final solution. Those dirty pigs would encourage concentration camps to make belong.
This convent has been filled in as my new home. Keeping my identity safe is my main priority. Catholicism is my new religion. These nuns, they are my new parents. The Nazis can't find me here.
It took me 7 years to reach my aspiration. I was soon be transferred to this involved concentration camp. My main priority is to use the security missions to demolish and unjust my new religion. Hitler can't find me here.
The year is 1944. I am 21.
I am 23.
The doors of the railroad car roll open.
Another day, another train.
Hands on my back push me to the ground.
I watch the confused nearly translate each other as they stare the railroad car.
I look up to see the wrought iron gates of Konenchon and Salzburg-Buchenwald. Yea, they say, to each as he deserves.
Their eyes are filled with tears.
Push myself up, and together we take our first steps into Buchenwald.
I smirk at the newcomers. This will be the day.
I make eye contact with an old man, dirty and worn.
I make eye contact with every Jew that steps to the gates of Buchenwald.
His eyes grow big and his jaw drops. He limps toward me, fast. The closer he gets, the sicker he looks.
I've heard students mention some death sentence.
His oversized striped uniform hangs on his gaunt body. His arms open wide, collapsing around me. "Leah," he whispers.
I turn my head, noticing a young woman and old man embracing each other.
A sob racks my body as I recognize who this man is by his voice rather than his face.
Tears stream down her face as the man gently brushes her hair out of her eyes.
His Tata, he's aged so many years in the few years I haven't seen him.
I remember my father's deathbed doing the same loving gesture to my sister.
A guard swings his baton at my father's rib cage, breaking us apart.
Picturing my father and sister's face makes me nauseous.
Our hands reach for each other, failing as the guard pulls my father away. I feel a spark of hope revive in the pit of my stomach, but will this be the last? That night, I wake to a whisper of my name.
I pace while on duty between the tours.
Leah, that same familiar voice whispers. I wanted to talk to you again. What are you doing here? I reply with a new fear in my voice.
The smell of burnt ashes gives me a headache.
I feel a grip on my arm. My father gasps. We are driving in the night sky to an unknown place.
It's then I see them,
The SS guard brings us to the wall and throws us on hooks like we're zapping with tug.
slowly strangling to death. The SS guard orders me.
I try to hold in the fear.
If it wasn't for my father at least 2 days earlier, I wouldn't be struggling right now.
The SS guard stalks out of the door. The guard on duty? I've seen him before. He slowly approaches and I prepare to be hung like a criminal.
I can't do this.
He can't do this.
I won't do it.
He grabs us both by the waist and takes us down. What is this man doing?
This brainwashing can no longer affect my inner morality. I tell these innocent people to hide my testimony.
I don't understand.
Meet me during morning walk home at the large tower straight across from camp facilities. Most other guards will be available. Don't get caught.
Slipping into the darkness of the night, holding our breath, flying to freedom, hiding behind the last of the camp facilities.
It's fun.
I feel the first signs of attainment. Our bed for the night is under a barrel of our murdered brethren. My heart accelerates to beat. Birds ring in my ears, sunlight pierces through my eyelids. It's time. It's time for genocide to be overruled.
It's time for justice to ring in the hearts of Germans.
Fast and quiet,
Slow and steady.
tiptoe, tiptoe.
Tick-tock, tick-tock.
The barbed wire fence stands tall and fierce.
Through the gates
The watchtower is giant hovering over us.
and over the posts.
Freedom. Before us, the path to Israel. Freedom. Our own secure country. Freedom.
And into childhood brainwashing.
Freedom. A turning point in history, the Holocaust changed the world forever. When analyzing the Holocaust, we realized that it impacted everyone, including us today.
Without the Holocaust, Israel would never have been founded.
A Jewish survivor once said, "I'm a Jew. That's enough. We have wandered enough. We have worked and shoveled too long on the lands of other people. We must build a land of our own."
Jews needed a place to call their own where they wouldn't be persecuted for their beliefs and ancestors. Without the Exodus, Israel would never have been founded.
When describing the first sighting of the Exodus, Ruth Gerber said, "The voices of the people floated to us on the way. They are singing Hanukkah, the Hebrew hymn of hope. It was a song the Jews sang in every emergency and in every crisis. It was their song of survival. The ship looked like a matchbox that had been splintered by a nutcracker."
This ship, Holocaust survivors, treated like enemy combatants when they were only seeking safe harbor away from public sympathy for the creation of Israel. Without Israel, the Jews would never go.
A popular joke of the time once said, two displaced Jews meet and one asks whether other plans to emigrate.
Canada or Australia?
Why not the USA?
Because the Americans threw on a scale trying to make the side and the paper degrees for weight, you're ready to go.
Jonathan R. White once said, "Early Zionist settlers hoped for peace, and there was every reason to believe this would be possible, even though most of the Jewish immigrants were Europeans, both groups identified with Palestine."
Even though the intentions were peaceful, the struggle for land and power led to conflict. The fight in Israel continues today, affecting the country and peace in the Middle East.
The Holocaust is still changing the world today.
Can we have those young ladies come back out on stage? Caroline and Jesselyn. My understanding, Mr. Punky, they wrote this, performed this, and practiced it. Went to state. These girls also went all the way to Washington, D.C. to national competition. Thank you, girls. Next on our program, I'd like to introduce Dr. Thomas L. Ritchie, our superintendent of schools.
Thank you, Morgan. Good morning.
Good morning.
That's pretty weak, but that's all right. I think we're feeling very good this morning. Sort of emotional day. I was listening to each principal introduce the faculty and was very pleased with the responsiveness. But I'm going to deviate from the schedule just about 3 minutes because I need to take care of a housekeeping chore. It may not be palatable, son. But first of all, I want all the elementary faculty to stand up, please. All elementary faculty, please. Then I want all the middle school faculty to stand up. Then I would like for the high school faculty to stand up. I want to share this with you. Please remain standing. Highest ACT scores ever on state testing. Composite not only topped the 19 mark, it increased 1.1. The overall composite of 19.8. Reading and science averaged 20 or higher for the first time. English and math both averaged over 19 for the first time since state AC testing. Well above state average in all 5 areas. All content areas in the composite showed significant increases. A 1-point gain on the ACT average constitutes more than a year's growth. English up 1.2 points, math up 1.1 point, reading up 1.1 point, science up 1 point, composite up 1.1. I cannot tell you how proud I am of this teaching corps in Henderson County. You made a difference. K through 12, you all contribute to the whole because you are the sum of the parts. You are the educational force in Henderson County. Would you please give yourself a round of applause? Thank you, make it seat. The only thing that I want to put as a capstone on that achievement, you made a difference. And so, my remarks to you this morning are not going to be about rigor, relevance, and relationships. Because I think perhaps we all know about the 3 R's. But I do want to say to you, as your colleague, one of the things that we must constantly keep foremost in our actions, in our relationships, is this business of communication. We are on such a changing landscape. Parents are frustrated. Students are a little bit frustrated. Faculties are beyond frustrated. The tide continues to roll, and public school systems become pieces of political real estate, fought over by so many segments that you sometimes wonder, what is public education all about? So I want to say to you that you have stayed the course. You've kept your focus. You put kids first. You understand that we are accountable and we cannot escape that, nor do we want to. But I want to say to you again, I have never been more proud of a group of K through 12 people as a colleague than I have of this school district. I am so pleased with your work and your commitment, and I know it will continue on. Don't forget, each of us want to be treated with respect, and dignity, and value, and worth. We want our self-esteem to be held together. And we do that by communication, whether it is face-to-face, texting, notes, general conversations in groups. Remember, you are judged by what you communicate. And it's so important for us to not take for granted that communication is something that can only be practiced on first period or sixth period or on a Saturday afternoon or a Sunday. It's extremely important and vital to the well-being of this school district and our relationship with the stakeholders that we serve. It's interesting. I've sat in several training stations this summer. Sometimes I felt held by ransom, but no one bailed me out. Just like you, the demands are growing all the time in terms of our professional growth, and it's something we need to take with great care and great professionalism. But I can assure you that our professional growth is vital to our continued growth as a school system. But there's a thread running through the conversations at the superintendent's level and state board level and some of the areas that I've sat in legislative conference committee meetings. They're so concerned now that we've been so focused on standards that we might have missed something important. It's called relationships. Relationships with our kids. The values that we convey as models and role models. And so I want to share with you, that's something I've never forgotten. That's something that I don't think we've ever put aside. But it's something that we can embellish. A dear friend of mine, 83 years of age, Donna Wood, out of Florida, retired teacher, 51 years, sent me this about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I thought I wanted to share it with you because it just resonated with what I think we have to do as educators in dealing with our children. I was never Dr. Richard to her, I was always Thomas. And so she said, Thomas, use this before it gets too stale. And so I do want to share this with you. Please indulge me. It's called, It's What You Scatter. I was at the corner grocery store buying some fruit and potatoes. I noticed a small boy, delicate of bone and feature, ragged and clean, hungrily apprising a basket of freshly picked green peas. I paid for my potatoes, but was also drawn to this display of fresh green peas. I'm a pushover for green peas and new potatoes. Pondering the peas, I couldn't help overhearing the conversation between Mr. Miller, the store owner, and the ragged boy next to me. Hello, Gary. How are you today? Hello, Mr. Miller. Fine, thank you. Just admiring them peas. They sure look good. They are good, Gary. How's your mom? Fine, getting stronger every day. Good. Anything I can help you with? No, sir. Just admiring them peas. Would you like to take some home? Asked Mr. Miller. No, sir. Got nothing to pay him with. Well, what have you to trade me for some of those peas? Oh, I got my prize marble. Here. Is that right? Let me see it, said Mr. Miller. Here it is. She's a dandy. I can see that. The only thing is, this one's blue, and I sort of go for red. Do you have a red one like this at home? The store owner asked. Not exactly, but almost. Tell you what, you take this sack of peas home with you, and the next trip you come this way, let me look at that red marble, Mr. Miller told the boy. Sure will. Thank you, Mr. Miller. Miss Miller, who had been standing nearby, came over to help me. With a smile, she said, there are 2 other boys like him in our community. All 3 are in very poor circumstances. Jim just loves to bargain with them for peas and apples and tomatoes and whatever. And when they come back with their red marbles, they always do, by the way, he decides he doesn't like red. After all, and he sends them home with a bag of produce or a green one or an orange one when they come back on their next trip to the store. I left the store smiling, thinking to myself how impressed I was with this man. A short time later, I moved to Colorado, but I never forgot the story of this man and the boys and their bargains for marbles. Several years went by, each more rapid than the previous one. Just recently, I had an occasion to visit some old friends in an Idaho community. And while I was there, I learned that Mr. Miller had died. They were having his visitation that evening, and knowing my friends wanted to go, I agreed to accompany them. Upon arrival at the mortuary, we fell into line to meet the relatives of the deceased and to offer whatever words of comfort we could offer. Ahead of us in line were three young men. One was in Army uniform, the others wore nice haircuts, dark suits, white shirts, all very professional looking. They approached Miss Miller, standing composed and smiling by her husband's casket. Each of the young men hugged her, kissed her on the cheek, spoke briefly with her, and moved on to the casket. Her misty eyes, light blue, followed them as one by one. Each young man stopped briefly and placed his own warm hand over the cold, pale hand in the casket. Each left that mortuary, awkwardly wiping his eyes. Our turn came to meet Mrs. Miller, and I told her who I was and reminded her of the story from those many years ago and what she had told me about her husband's bartering for marbles. With her eyes lifted, she took my hand and led me to the casket. Those three young men who were just left were the boys I told you about. They just told me how they appreciated the things Jim traded them. Now, at last, when Jim could not change his mind about the color of the marble, they came to pay their debt. Now, you know, we've never had a great deal of wealth in this world, she confided. But right now, Jim would consider himself to be the richest man in Idaho. With loving gentleness, she lifted the lifeless fingers over each husband. Resting underneath were three exquisitely shining red marbles. There is a moral to this verse, and what I want to share with you this morning. You know, our students will always remember us for something, but they will not remember us for our words, but our kind deeds. Life is not measured by the breath we take, but by the moments that take our breath away. And our students do that every day. Today, I wish you the start of a day of ordinary miracles, such as a fresh pot of coffee you didn't make yourself to help you get through the day, an unexpected phone call, or a thinking of you card from an old friend, a warm hug, a kiss, or both from your spouse or significant other, as they wish you a good day and a great year for 2013-14 as you headed out the door. Green traffic lights when you drive home from school this afternoon. Fastest line in the grocery store when you stop to get something for the family dinner. Your keys found right where you left them in the classroom. Share these thoughts, this moral, with people you'll never forget. I just did. Don't be so much in a hurry to not recognize the ordinary miracles that take place every day in our school district. There's a miracle that happens when you, as an educator, touch the life of a child. So from this reading, it's not what you gather, my dear colleagues. It's what you scatter that leaves the trail of your life of what it's been and what you left behind. Thank you very much for listening to the comments. I'd like to take another departure now to bring to you our keynote speaker. Our speaker today is Billy Riggs. Billy's been speaking publicly for more than 30 years and has sold more than 100,000 recordings of his speeches. He is the author of nearly 250 unique recordings as well as 3 books, the latest of which is entitled Megatubes. He earned 2 master's degrees, both magna cum laude, one of which is in education. He resides in Austin, Texas, and is one of only 800 speakers in America to be recognized as a certified speaking professional. Now, I thought this next part was very interesting. Billy was a multimillionaire by age 18, but only in Turkish lira. His name regularly appears on the cover of Time magazine, but only on the address label. He has 3 children. 2 of them are adopted, and he's seeking a good home for the 3rd. Billy is also a world-class illusionist who has been featured on 10 cruise ships, has performed before audiences as large as 20,000 people. He has appeared and disappeared at the MGM Grand, Paris hotels in Vegas, Caesars, in Lake Tahoe, and the Tropicana Atlantic City. He appeared on 90 Minutes PBS television, The Magic of Attitude. But he doesn't like being called an illusionist because he is far more interested in reality than illusion. That's why they call him not an illusionist, but a disillusionist. But the accomplishment he is proudest of is that when he is an Eagle Scout and became a scoutmaster of his son's Boy Scout troop in Austin. Will you join me in giving Billy Ray a Henderson welcome? Billy Ray.